Hello and welcome to Solo Adventures
Together,
the podcast where we, a husband-wife duo, send each other on a solo adventure and then we come home and talk about it.
Since when are we married?
Do you not consider me your wife?
No, I do. I just like making a joke about it.
I know that technically we have some papers to sign.
It is weird to call you my wife still. I don't know.
I would so much rather call you my husband than
boyfriend
or
partner,
fiance. Like partner.
Life partner.
Life partner is a bit much. I feel like it's very...
We're life partners.
No, but I feel like that's like old.
Hippies.
Well, no, I think you'd say like...
It's a hippie thing.
No, but I feel like saying, oh, like my husband.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I like husband.
Well,
I don't like hubby.
My sweetie pie patootie spladoodie over here.
No.
Where's your ring?
Yeah, get out of here. Where's your ring?
I never had one, really.
You have one.
It doesn't fit right.
It needs to be signed.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're way
So this
off track.
podcast about places we send each other places.
One
of us got sent somewhere.
Yeah, I sent Dooder to the Play Lab.
I went to the Play Lab.
Now,
think about this, okay? Imagine to yourself, okay, if you heard the phrase Play Lab, right? What do you imagine first, okay?
Okay, do you want me to read you the event description?
Not yet. I want to use my imagination into what I could imagine it could be, right? Play Lab. Either it could be one of two things, right? It could be toys for kids, maybe science related. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe they're learning how to do chemistry with playing or building stuff like Lego or something like that. The other option maybe would be like theater, like a play lab, like you're workshopping.
Okay.
Theater.
Well, may I read you the description now?
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear it. I actually never read it.
Learn to take risks. Experiment with your creative ideas and have...
Slow down.
Learn to take risks.
Okay, not that slow. Read it like...
Gosh. God, no, don't give me a prompt right now.
Okay.
Learn to take risks. Experiment with your creative ideas and have fun. You'll build confidence, get creative, and connect with other humans. This was not written by a robot.
Okay, connecting with other humans. What else did it say? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to continue.
Oh, there's
more. The Play Lab is a series of play shops for women business owners, coaches, speakers, creatives, and feral founders. And the occasional guys.
Wait, that's what...
Oh,
man.
So I knew you could go.
Yeah.
And this is where we, quote, rewild and rewire together, which are in bold. And those are not real words.
Well, and is also in bold. So
read
it as if it's all in bold, please.
This is where we rewild and rewire
Thank you.
Together.
That was...
Yeah. Join us in person for a high-energy, interactive experience designed to get you out of your head and into the moment where your confidence, creativity, and voice actually live. Through guided play, you'll sharpen your communication, trust your instincts, and connect with like-minded women who are ready to show up fully. Expect laughter, movement, real connection, no experience needed, just bring your energy and a willingness to play.
You know, I did bring my energy and willingness to play, and not since you really only told me as I was leaving the house, basically, that it was for women,
and that you might be the only man.
I might be the only man, and I was like, oh, all right. But I brought my energy and what was it? Willingness to play.
Willingness to play.
I do have that. I do have energy and willingness to play.
So I kind of imagined that this was going to be.
Yeah, tell me what you thought.
I thought it was going to be. Probably a little bit of like clown school inspiration, but very watered down, is what I was kind of expecting. Maybe a little like corporate retreaty, with some of the things.
I'll bite my tongue. I want to hear your full. What you imagine the event.
I'm imagining that it's a group of eccentric but somewhat stuffy women who are trying to break out of their normal, and their normal is very boring. and it's and they're just trying to think like they're in their 20s again and just have fun.
Gotcha.
Right. And but with through guided play.
Of course.
Right. So there might be dancing, maybe singing silly songs or doing little skits.
Yeah.
And just kind of playing improv games, basically, is what I kind of imagined it would be.
So,
based on their description.
You're not that far off. I would say pretty accurate to what you are describing. What sort of environment are you imagining this taking place? Because I don't remember. Because so for those that don't know, the reason that this episode got postponed so much is because this particular event got pushed back by like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So because the first venue fell through for some reason, so they moved it to another venue.
Okay, I'm imagining that this is probably being held in. From the pictures I saw,
There are pictures?
Well, on the thing on Eventbrite there was.
Okay, what were the pictures?
It was just a group of people hugging each other, like standing together, a group picture.
There was enough space for them to hug each other? How many people would you say?
Like 6 or 8. Okay, clearly, could you stop with the leading? Either you asking me a question or you're not.
Okay.
Anyways, from what it looked like a variety of hotel conference rooms, or like office space, maybe in like a rec center. You know how they'll have like a designated room that maybe is for lectures,
Totally.
but it could be empty or not empty. Maybe chairs. That's kind of what it looked like. It had those. The pictures have the walls of. They could be movable because that's how a lot of hotels.
Right.
That have big conferences are where you
can section it off.
You can section it off, and that's what it seemed like the pictures are from. So I would guess
like a convention hall situation.
Like a convention hall, or because those same kind of things are in like the rec centers and stuff where you can divide up a room.
Gotcha.
And that's what it seemed like to me.
I wonder if the first venue was that, because the second venue was for sure not that. The venue, so she had personally emailed me and was like, hey, that venue fell through. We're going to have to move it to this new place next week. If you can't go, let me know. And I responded, I was like, oh, I can go still. And so it got moved to one of her old friends' offices on the beach in northern San Diego County. I forget exactly which part of San Diego that was. But it was a very, very nice, new, clean, quiet part of...
Wasn't it Del Mar?
Maybe. It might have been Del Mar. It was right on the beach. Like there was the beach, the street, the building. So it was there, and we were up like on the second story. But so I got there, and I was a little bit early, and I got a parking spot where I didn't have to pay, and I could stay there as long as I wanted. So that was pretty sick. And I wandered around this building for 10 minutes. Trying to find the space. Because so the numbering system on the building, on the first floor is 100s. Right?
Okay.
Second floor is 200s. There's a sign that says, up this way, 200 through 230, which is 230 is where I was trying to go. I went upstairs. It only went up to 215. And I was like, okay, well, where the hell would all the other numbers be? Because there's no more building left. So I wandered around the whole building 3 times. And then finally someone was like, hey, are you Diego? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we're in here. And it was behind a gate in a little room. And this little room had a table with 10 chairs in the middle of it, with a room, I feel like probably a standard bedroom size. I would say it was outside, fully enclosed outside, plants everywhere, beautiful, beautiful office, outside with a big table in the middle and a little bit of space around the table.
So there's not much room outside of edging around the table? What?
Yes.
Okay.
So, well, and one side of the table had a little bit more room, but it was maybe like 4 feet.
Okay.
Not what you imagined, I imagine.
No, but if it's a backup, I guess no. I would assume that there would be more space.
Thank you.
Which you could have just said that it was not what you
How else is this
imagined.
supposed to take an hour if I don't take 15
It
minutes?
felt like a really long time for you to tell me that the room was too full of table.
Okay, room too small. It turns out that the class was originally booked for 20 people. 16 of the people could not come.
So it was 4 people.
4 people. And I was the first one there. And there was a 5th person that was the friend that owned the office. And she was like, oh, I've never done anything like this before. She's like, oh, do you want to stay? And she's like, well, I kind of want to go take a walk. and then, she convinced her to stay. And it seems like she had a blast the whole time. But, so, I don't even know how to start. She had a book that was titled, Theater Games for the Classroom.
Oh, that's at the Improv.
Yeah.
If you want that book, or if you want to look at it, that is on the bookshelf at
Yes.
the Improv.
Which makes sense why all of the games that we played were games that I was familiar with. Mm-hmm. So it was basically, the overall view of the whole thing was 2 hours of improv games.
Okay.
Nothing else. Just improv games.
Okay.
And I was the only man. Mm-hmm. I also was the only person that didn't know any of the other people previously. Because apparently, this is also a group of women, a bigger group of women, that all know each other, that are all CEOs and powerful women in the area.
I probably should go to this thing.
They were nice. They were super nice.
Well, no. I think this is an excellent networking opportunity.
Sure.
In general.
Maybe you should go instead of me.
Well, I mean, we could just go together.
I mean, I could just be the token man again.
I mean, yeah, and you're.
I did have a fun time. So let me see if I can remember everybody, since this was like a week ago. There was a lawyer who grew up with hippie parents.
Okay.
Very soft-spoken, very low energy, very break her out of her shell, Mm-hmm. There was a very eccentric, I think she was Brazilian, but clearly she had been living in the United States for a long time, but she was talking about Brazil a lot. And she was retired.
Obrigado. Yeah.
She was retired housewife, trophy housewife, from what I could understand, and from what all the jewelry she was wearing. And then there was the instructor, and then her friend, and me. How many people was that?
5.
5. Perfect. We did it. I remembered everybody. So it started out, she had refreshments, watermelon, popcorn, and that actually we played with that in the games sometimes.
Like throwing popcorn?
No. Just like eating it.
Okay.
But so we played a variety of games, and I don't know if anyone's familiar with improv games. We played most of the classics. We played Zip Zap Zop,
Zip Zap Zap,
which is not very fun with 5 people.
Honestly, Zip Zap Zop is one of my least favorite games. It's not fun until you get to the much higher, because you add levels of difficulty. Mm-hmm. For those listening that don't know what Zip Zap Zop is, basically you get a big group of people
in a circle.
In a circle. Ideally, I would say 15 is about the max size.
Yeah.
I feel like between
5 is the minimum, apparently.
I feel like between 8 and 15 is pretty solid. More than 15, and it's hard to point at a specific person.
Yeah.
And basically, you just point at someone and you go zip.
And the second person goes zap.
And then they go zap, and then they point at
zap.
someone, and the last person goes zop, and then it starts again. And you just go as fast as you can, zip, zap, zopping, and then eventually they add, you do double zips, double zaps, double zops, triple zips, triple zaps.
So she added something.
Or you could go nip, nap, nop.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, add different
She
letters.
didn't do nip, nap, nop. She did bip, bap, bop.
Yeah.
Which confused everybody.
Yeah, or you can do, because we've done it where once you get past the zip, zap, zop and then adding the doubles, then you can have multiple going at the same time.
Oh yeah, we tried to do that in my improv class. It didn't work.
And it's really hard.
It's hard.
Very difficult. And then the other is to change the letter each time from zip, zap, zop to nip, nap, nop, bip, bap, bop, tip, tap, top.
Yeah.
Clip, clap, clop.
Yeah, we didn't get that far yet.
You know.
One thing we did in our improv class that was super fun, I don't know if you've done yet or before, is give it a character. Like, be like, zip. You know, like, give it a, like, zip. You know, like and then everyone
Like
has
do
to,
something?
the zip chooses and then everyone has to follow that
intonation,
into the
yeah.
next zip,
Okay.
right? And it could be a movement, right? So we didn't do that. It was a zip, zap, zop, bip, bap, bop. And when we got to the bip, bap, bop, one lady didn't understand how to do it. And it was funny because she did do the thing where, you know, when you fail, you celebrate it, right? You make a big deal, you put your hands in the middle, and God, what did she have us yell? God, was it cucumber or like lemonade? It was like a food word.
Not watermelon?
Not watermelon. That would have made sense. But we got in the middle and we yelled asparagus, whatever it was. I don't remember the I don't remember the food vegetable word.
Real asparagus.
Yeah, we all yelled it and then we started over, right? So that was fun. That was a good starting game. And I'm curious if I can remember where we went from there. Man, we because we all stood up and the amount of space we had for the circle was it was enough for 5 people to stand in a circle. But then
Were you around the table or were you?
no, we were like adjacent to the
Okay,
table.
okay.
And then there was another couch over there. It was a nice office. I'm curious what she did for work. She
Okay, you made it sound like the table took up the whole room, but now you're telling me there was a couch and a standing area?
I would say the table took up half of the room. Half of the whole room. But it was not on one side. It was kind of in the middle, so you could get to all the chairs. But there was enough room that I would say probably how much is that? Like 3 or 4 feet? It's probably 4 feet on one side of the table that we utilized with a whiteboard.
Okay.
And she didn't use the whiteboard. I was curious if she was going to use the whiteboard. What other games did we play? So let me tell you a little bit more about the instructor.
Sure.
So she is, I think she said she was from San Diego, but she moved to the East Coast for a long time and just moved back like 6 months ago and is not staying very long. But she does corporate improv stuff where she will go to a corporate office.
You mean like what we talked about doing?
Yeah, where you go and you make these desk jockeys play I Am Tree, you know, and I thought that was super cool that was something that she did because she was super fun. She was very what do you call this? Excitable,
Flailing.
energetic. She really. The first hour, I would say, it was an uphill battle for her to pull enough energy out of the rest of the group.
That is and that's why I said women who are looking to reconnect with themselves, but they're a bit stuffy because it's like it sounded to me like because corporate is hard.
Corporate's hard.
And especially if you're really not used to making a fool of yourself.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to fail in front of people.
Well, especially in front of your coworkers.
And coworkers,
Yeah.
other people that like you respect or like
Maybe your boss.
Yeah.
Did you see what Jim did at the corporate improv event? Yeah, well, I don't know if we can keep him on very much longer.
Well, that's not who's attending this. What you attended, they're
No.
all going there on their own accord.
No, I know. But usually, she said that she gets paid to do
Yeah.
this at different corporate things, and she's working on her portfolio. And I think she said she was moving back to the East Coast. But I guess I should say all of the women were middle aged, at least 40s, 50s, 60s. I couldn't tell you how old they were, but one of them was a grandmother. So whatever that information tells you. I mean, what do you want to know about it?
What do you mean? What'd you do? Why was it fun? Did you like it? Did they like you? Did you have a nice time? What games were memorable? Was there any memorable moments? Like, you clearly had a nice time, but you're not really saying what happened outside of you played some improv games, but like...
Well, let's see. So the I Am Tree game, she played, from what I have experienced, incorrectly.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like correcting her because she was in
Okay.
charge.
So how did she play it?
She played it to where
Also, hope you know that there's no incorrect way to
No,
play
no, no, no,
any
no,
of
I
these
know.
games. She just played it differently.
differently. Not incorrect, differently.
Because
and
everybody plays them different.
not as efficient, I guess, or not as fun. The way that she played it was one person started as a tree, and then another person, or two more people went, right? And there was, let's say, a bird and a nut on the tree. And then her instruction was one person goes and replaces one person.
Oh, like tagging out?
A little bit. So, like, if they replaced the tree, the other two were still the same. So then from there, another person just had to tag out another person, and that's hard with 5 people, because the way that I've played it, and I think probably the way that you played it, is once the 3 people are out there, the next person to tag in or whatever restarts the scene, basically. And you know, if 3 people are there...
The way that I see, and this is why I'm saying it's all just different.
Yeah.
The way that I've played it is the person starts out as I'm a tree, right? And then somebody comes. There's 2 people that come in, and they're different things. Somebody's a dog, and the other person's a photographer taking a picture.
Gotcha.
And then the tree gets to pick who stays. They'd be like, I'm choosing the photographer. And then the photographer stays in the middle, and now you have a photographer, and then somebody else comes in, and they're posing for the photographer. And then somebody else comes in and they're the backdrop for the photographer. And then the photographer would get to pick who stays.
Interesting.
And so they'd pick, maybe it's the model. And then and so you get more interesting things.
Yeah.
Because it's going on, not necessarily we're in a tree park setting, but who goes with the model? Like, what can you think of to go with it?
Yeah, because the way that we played it, and we only played it one time in my
It's not a
class.
particularly great game.
No, and
It's not very fun.
I kind of like the way that you're describing it, and I kind of like the way that we played it, which was so if there's a tree, there's a bird, there's a dirt on the ground, let's say. And then another person comes in and is like, I'm the sun, and then everyone else leaves, and then the sun is there, and then someone's like, I'm a sunbather, I'm a fucking
Yeah, because
chair.
we did it where sometimes you add multiple people to it, and sometimes we've done it where at the end of, and when we add people, then you do a little scene,
That sounds fun.
and that's more fun for sure. The basic version of it is pretty boring.
Bart, Bart?
He's stomping around on my papers.
Anyway, so the way that she played it was not my favorite way. I would say out of all the ways that I've learned how to play that game, it was my 3rd favorite. And I've learned 3 ways. So we did that for a little bit too long, and everyone was kind of confused.
Sometimes the games will say to like do it for 10 minutes, and it's if you have a lot of people. If you have not enough people, it's like 2 minutes is fun. And then after that, you're like, okay, this isn't very fun anymore.
So then after that, I think what I remember is we did like the word association game, which I feel probably has a more fun name, where you say a word, the first word that reminds you of the word that the person
That's just
told
word
you.
association, yeah.
Yeah, so we played that for a while, which was fun, but again, went a little bit too long. But then again, like she's filling 2 hours of time, so it probably
right.
is.
Well, and there was 20 people scheduled for this. If
Yeah.
there was 20 people, it wouldn't be so bad to do it for 5 whole minutes. But when there's 5 people, it's not as fun.
Yeah. And at some point we did sort of like shaking it out. We did like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shaking the arms, but she counted up, which totally threw me off.
I've had somebody count up before too, and I didn't like it.
It totally, like, because every class we count down, starting from 10, and we count down, and it gets faster, and it's fun, and it gets exciting, and then she like started counting up, and I was like, how do I count up? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This feels so wrong. You know, it's so out of my comfort. But I really tried to bring enough energy to the group because
it was lacking.
It was lacking, and I could tell that she was trying really hard. And by the end of it, everyone had a great time. Like everyone, you know, it got weird, it got dark, it got sexual. Like it got not all the way, but like, you know, there were times when we did like the 3-word story, which that also she explained it kind of bad because we started with a 1-word story
Right, where each person says one word.
Yes. And then she was like, let's try and do a story that actually makes sense. And then we did a 3-word story, but then she started doing phrases. And like just, a phrase that made sense with a conclusional ending. Like, you have a blue shirt, and then moving on, right? To
Like
the
a
next
one
person.
sentence.
Exactly.
More.
But she didn't restart and be like, we're doing sentences now. Because it got to the next person and she was like, that wasn't 3 words. She was like, just do a phrase. Just do a phrase. So then we did, that was fun. And it was kind of unintentionally my responsibility to move the story along because I've done that before. And I learned that from you.
Right.
And like, people don't want to move the story along. And I had to, really do it. And they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I was able to do that.
Yeah. And when I had auditioned to be on the improv team that I'm on, that's a performance team. In the audition, there was probably 15 or 20 people in the audition. There was a pretty big group. And doing the audition, we did a storytelling game like that. And it was so frustrating because every time it got to me, I'd be like, all right, how do I make this make sense? Because people kept going for weird and not for
Make sense.
make sense.
It can be funny and make sense.
And which the thing is they said, over making the story weird, haha, funny, try and make it make sense. We want a plot that's going to function at some point. So, and it is an interesting mental challenge to be like, how do we connect these pieces and get to something that could potentially move a story along, regardless of how fanciful the story is.
Yeah.
Or dumb, which most of the time, honestly, most of the time they end up being really boring because nobody wants to make a choice.
That it's true. And that's why the 1-word story is like the best and the worst. Because there's so limited amount of choices. Like if you're then you're the. You can't just be like feet. And then they're like, okay, the last word was alarm. It doesn't.
No, you have to and that's one of the things I heard recently was that improv is the hardest team sport you'll encounter because a lot of times sometimes you just got to be the.
Yeah.
And it's not the fun one, but you're got to support.
Let me put that into basketball terms for you. Role player. Sometimes you need to be the role player. Sometimes you need to be the guy that just shoots the 3-pointers, and you don't get to be the guy on the posters. Sometimes you don't have to be the center of attention to make the outcome the best it can be.
Well, yeah, it's being a support.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Sorry, that was more terms for myself to understand.
I was like...
Let me put that into basketball terms. Swish. I'm sorry, brick. That's when you miss.
Yeah. So, I guess what did you learn from it? What?
I think the biggest thing finish your sentence.
Yeah, my question is, what did you learn from it? What are your takeaways outside of you went and played improv games? What were we? Because you had a good time.
Yeah.
You came back home and you were pretty jazzed.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest thing that I learned was that since starting the improv class that I've been doing every week, since then I have gotten so much better at playing with strangers. Right? So now that my improv class is no longer strangers, right? There's that whole different depth that you can get into with whatever you do there. But it was definitely eye-opening to see these seemingly professional, serious, powerful women. Like one of them was super high up in a family attorney law firm, and like to have somebody like that probably has to deal with not very fun things on a daily basis, go and make a sexual joke about watermelons and then be like, be super, not embarrassed, but just like shocked that they said it.
Surprised that they did it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was any easier for them because they all knew at least one other person there. And maybe I helped make people feel more comfortable because I was just like, whatever. Yeah, you want me to jump around and be a chicken with his head cut off? Yeah, no worries. I'll be that. I'll make the noise too, So I feel like I've learned that I can get out of my comfort zone easier. And I think still one thing that I'm uncomfortable with is moving my body in a confident way to portray not me.
Don't worry.
I know.
Level 2 is all about character, and you do a lot of character work specifically on character walks.
Perfect. I can't wait.
So you will get there.
I'm excited to get there, so that's good. But I feel like my biggest takeaway from that is if people are open-minded enough, you can do that. Like there were no wrong answers. There was someone that was so, I forget which one of the people that were there that was so self-doubting in their choices and stuff and really in their head. And like they, there are a couple of times they're like, oh, that was wrong. They said it out loud. They're like, oh, that wasn't a good choice. And the instructor wasn't doing a bad job at like making sure everyone was comfortable. But like I kind of took it upon myself to be like, oh yeah, no, there's no wrong choices. Kind of just like clearing the air a little bit with some just quick comfort words to make other, like, I don't know what that would be called. Where like, try to make other people feel like, it's not a bad choice. It's just a choice that, whatever. It's not wrong. What was the rest of your question?
I guess your takeaways so it was interesting because there's power for women. And then I guess my question would be...
It was intimidating, for sure.
Yeah?
I was very intimidated. At least before everyone started talking. Like, I was way out of my depth.
How were they dressed? Were they dressed?
Pretty casual, I would say. Two of them were dressed in, like, exercise equipment, exercise clothing, or one of them was wearing, like, a dress, and the other one was wearing, like, a flannel and jeans. And what was I wearing?
You were wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
T-shirt and pants, yeah. I don't think that I was under or overdressed, but I do feel like there's a certain level of intimidation that the energy that you can feel from other people sometimes where, like, I don't know, like you could just tell that they exude confidence all the time. Like you. Like you. I imagine when you're in your 40s, you will be that. Where you are a comfortable, confident, just intimidating to start. And then,
I feel like I'm already there.
Well, slow down.
I feel like what's a crazy part of growing up and like really, really getting into like what I would call womanhood, which I would say, in my personal opinion, true womanhood is at 28.
Okay.
Because up until then, it was really at like 27, 28 when I stopped being approached by men because they could tell I was over their shit. You
weren't going to believe
that I wasn't going to believe whatever, and that like their charms weren't going to work on me. They would come up and and the big difference.
Come up and
the big difference would be like come up and like they would order something, but they wouldn't try what they would have tried before because like I could see. I'm like, okay, what do you want? Like, like I wasn't.
I've seen this happen, by the way.
Yeah, and they're like, what do you want? Like, okay, yeah, what do you want? And like pleasant, nice, by all means.
But you're not like, hey, sugar. Like,
well,
or hey.
no, not even that. I would never do that.
That would be funny, though.
No.
New character.
But the idea of like, this is a transactional situation and I have zero interest. If there's somebody who sits at the bar and maybe talks with me as a real human and not as like an object.
Yeah.
Right? And then we could have a conversation. And that was always on a we are equals kind of level. And there was plenty of guys that would come and sit at the bar and we'd have great conversations and they were regulars and like it was very much a regular friendship, like a bar regular friendship, which is its own thing. But
no, I agree.
I feel like it specifically when I was working at the Asian fusion restaurant, that was when I really noted the change in how men dealt with me. And a big part of that was because I had a 21-year-old barback. And the way that they talked to her and the way that they talked to me, because I would not give them like the time of day. And it was, and these were men who were in their mid to late 30s, 40s and up. And I'm like, you are gross. You're gross because I'm here and you could be hitting on me, but you're choosing to hit on the 21-year-old because she's naive. And that was when...
Because they think that they have a better chance.
They think they have a better chance. Exactly. And like, I mean, it's not necessarily trying to toot my own horn of like, oh, I think I'm hot and they should have been hitting on me. But...
I mean, I would hit on you.
Yeah, but the main thing being is it didn't... Like, basically all the way up until I stopped giving any interest back and was like, I would say embraced what I think of as like full womanhood of being like, I do not, and you know, I didn't want their approval anymore. It was no longer caring if I had this random person's approval, especially seeing that they're like lecherous and gross. So I'm like, why would I want your approval? Like, I don't want this person's approval. I don't give a shit. Just give me your money and I'll make you a drink. Like, I mean, like,
yeah. Hey, what's up, hot stuff?
That's what it was like.
Hey.
That's what it was like.
Where's that 21-year-old?
They would ask me.
God, really?
They would.
Oh, no.
They would. And I'd be like, she went home to do her homework, you piece of shit.
She lives with her parents.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like, oh, yeah, she's 15. Like, no, I wouldn't say that.
No.
That'd be crazy for her working behind a bar.
That would be
You have to be
crazy.
at least 21 to work behind a bar. But I'd be like, what, the child? Like, the literal child? You're...
And that's...
It grossed me out.
I feel like that's not only based on location, because it was in LA, and I feel like there's a lot more culture around that sort of activities, you know, where like older men...
Yeah, but I used to get approached a lot more in like grocery stores.
In LA.
In LA.
But that's what I'm saying, is like in LA,
but back home too in Humboldt. Like, I got approached lots of places.
Well, but there's like 10 people in Humboldt.
Yeah, and I still got approached.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not like I didn't get hit on.
Nobody ever talked to me.
Yeah, well, you weren't a young woman. Mind your own fucking business, you know?
Well, more people talk to me now than they ever did before, I feel like. Is it the gray hair? Is it the mustache?
No, and it's because you've achieved like social clout and confidence amongst other men and women appreciate you, right? And you look more...
I'm like a flaccid penis. I'm non-threatening.
Yeah, not threatening.
Yeah.
Versus now I'm threatening.
You're a hard, huge erection.
Right.
Just bulging out of pants.
I'm very threatening.
Yeah.
They don't like...
Huge curve on that.
Women approach me. Women absolutely approach me. I get...
Half the time it's for safety though, you know? Like they come to you and they're like, you're a safe person to talk to, or like maybe you can help me with the guy over here.
Yeah, no, that's happened enough times.
Honestly, I feel like you should start charging people. You know.
No, I'm a vigilante. I do it for the justice, not
put a
for
mask
the
on
money.
at least. You know, just a yeah. Not this.
Anyways, we've digressed.
That's okay. There's not much more about this. I mean,
okay. So you think I should go? I mean,
well,
I think
you think you should go.
Well, you said it. You told me that I was invited.
That
And
doesn't
that I
sound
should
like,
go.
Well, I didn't say you needed to go or what you should go. I think maybe. I think if it's more like-minded and women, I think it would be a great opportunity to meet some more people in the area.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think it'd be nice to.
And you're hilarious.
Yeah.
So they want you there.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see if I can get one of them to let me do like a speech at their company dinner or something.
Well, I mean, that might be impeding on the instructor's job market. But she will not be. Maybe
She's moving away.
honestly, connecting with her might be great because she might have clients already that are. She's moving away, and maybe she needs a stand-in or something.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I didn't think about that already because wasn't going to say it on the podcast.
Well, hopefully they don't listen to the podcast. At least not until you go to the class already.
I wasn't going to say it on the podcast, but I did. I was like, this is an opportunity. When you said she was moving away, and I was like, cool, opening in the market.
So there's
an established market with an opening in it?
So you're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me.
Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about like what we want.
And we have discussed this exact idea.
We have, and we've talked about like kind of generalities of what we wanted to do after streaming, because obviously we can't do that forever. You know, maybe who knows how much longer we can do it for. I'm not tired yet.
No, me neither.
So, like, at least as long as we've already done it, we could probably go that much further. Who knows? But I feel like, you know, it is smart to be like, all right, you know, what else could I do when I don't feel like doing a cooking show 3 times a week?
I do really think that I probably, because like we've talked before, that I probably should teach something.
You need to lead, teach something, youth, humans, animals, who cares? You need to teach somebody something.
Right.
Because they will listen to you.
Yeah, and that maybe I have a calling for teaching.
I will audit the class.
At some, yeah, okay.
I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah, that's okay, man. You can serve the snacks.
Can I be like the teacher's assistant and wear like a sexy outfit? And be like, here's my teacher's assistant.
You're in like really tight trousers. Flaccid penis.
Yeah. He's not threatening.
You're like,
he will kick you out of the class if he's. I'm just kick you out, Ronnie style.
Ronnie style. They're like, just ignore him.
No, I think that you.
I do.
You have a calling for teaching.
You
have such an ease with, even if you don't know anything about the topic, if you learn about this topic generally, you are so able to regurgitate the information in a very smart layman's term where like even I can understand it. And it takes me a while to understand things. And you're very patient with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like you like.
Hey, remember when you said what'd you just say?
Regurgitate?
No. Before that, takes you a while to understand things.
Yes.
Sometimes. And I'm very patient with you.
Yes.
I need you to remember that the next time you're like, okay, I got it. Because you forgot to say anything. And I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll explain it in another way. Because sometimes you will sit there and look at me.
Cut the camera.
Sometimes you sit there and you look at me. And then in your head, you're like, oh, yeah, totally. Oh, absolutely. And then in real life, you're not saying words.
I hate interrupting you when you're telling me stuff because like you don't take enough breaths. You're talking and then you just go from one topic to the next topic to the next topic back to the other topic without stopping to be like, you know, one of those, you know, because I used to do interviews on the radio, right? You're supposed to wait for them to take a breath so you can interject. So they shut up.
Am I just like circular breathing or something?
Maybe. It just reminds me, not really that much, but it reminded me just now of this one guy I used to interview. He ran a vet clinic or something. I forget exactly what it was. But he had a sponsorship on my show. He'd come in every Tuesday or Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning to talk about vet stuff. And he'd usually share on just one level above my understanding of like animal care. Right? But he would not breathe. He would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but not very fast, and drone. And eventually I had to stop doing them live because he would go for 10 minutes.
Right.
And the interview was supposed to be 3. So what I would do is don't tell him. I would record them, not live. I would tell him that we're doing it live. I would record it, and then I would edit it.
Right.
Shorter.
This poor guy's like, "Hi, Mom."
No, he was in his 60s. There was one time he went on for 3 minutes about how he got a animal hair out of his ear in the shower by spraying the thing in his ear. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't tell what was wrong with my ear, so, I went to the doctor and they didn't tell me anything, so I went and rinsed it out a bunch, and then, I got a hair out, and I was like, oh, I wonder which animal this was from. So then I looked in my catalog of animals, and I was like, oh, it was probably that one. So I went over to that animal, and I was like, oh, did you get a hair in my ear? I don't know. And then I realized, it was an animal, and then he'd tell me what was wrong with the animal.
Right.
And,
right. This one had a broken leg.
This one had a broken leg, so we had to do surgery on it the day before. It was bleeding everywhere. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's nice. It's real nice. Thank you for telling me about the name of the bone, the scientific name of cats. He loved to do that. He loved to call them, what are they called? Feline.
Felis flexus, I think.
Yeah, he said Felis flexus a couple of times, but he would always refer to them
Domesticus.
as felines.
Felines, yeah.
He would always call them felines, and it pissed me off for some reason. I don't know why. It pissed me off.
You don't like cats?
No, just the way that he said it. He said it like I was stupid. He was like, yeah, the felines. And I was like, I get it. It's a cat. I was also 22, so I don't know what to take from that.
God, that's like, again, it's like when we were watching the snake guy.
Yeah.
Bushmaster. Was he talking like that?
Yes.
That's how my ex talked. And at the time, and that's how everybody in the sciences talked, and so that felt normal.
It makes me so happy I never got into the sciences. Go on.
But I now, when I'm far enough removed, like, I still get it because it is fun to talk like that. It's any kind of jargon across any kind of field. If you are working in restaurants and you've got bar jargon, which there is jargon for the bar.
It's called bargain.
Right? There's specific, like whatever, lingo that you're using for restaurants. Right?
Pour spout. Shakers.
Yeah, but if somebody...
Ice well.
Right, but you're saying, like, I need hands, or there's a 6-top on 12.
Behind.
Right. Those kind of things, if you don't work in the restaurant industry, you probably don't know what they mean.
Did you ever...
But it's more fun
to
use the lingo when you work in it.
Well, because, most people, they understand it, so you can use less words.
Right.
It's harder if they don't understand. You say behind, and they're like, I am behind you with something hot. Move your body. Or don't move your body.
Yeah, whatever. That's how it is in the sciences, because there's not that many people. Or like if you're speaking, like if somebody's, when somebody speaks Spanish to you and they light up because they get to speak Spanish, that's what it's like in the scientific community when you get to use the big words you spent all this time learning. Right? Because you've worked really hard to learn all this stuff, and there's just not that many people that you can talk to on that level.
And it's dwindling.
Gosh. And so it makes a difference when somebody can, like, understand and reciprocate. But there's a time and a place. I wouldn't speak, like, somebody speaking a lot of Spanish at me, I have a little bit of Spanish and I can get kind of, we can navigate, but they can't talk at a fluent level with me. They have to talk at a dumbed down level, because
you got to do what I did,
and I don't know enough Spanish.
So when I started out, I the first couple of phrases I learned were like, speak slower. What did you say? Repeat that. And what? And it worked great. Honestly, telling people to speak slower because I don't understand is huge, because they will, like, it's never offensive.
Right.
And I don't know if that works with science speak. If it's like, hey, you mind?
No, because those are just all words you're not going to know.
Could you tone down the science speak from a 10 to a 7?
Yeah, and he probably already felt like he was at like a 4. Right? But I'm just saying that now, when I was dating that guy, I thought it was fun because I worked really hard to learn all these things.
Yeah,
and then when you're getting to talk about it. But now I see why it was so freaking annoying to everyone else, because he wouldn't tone it down. He kept going at it. Like, you know, it'd be like speaking full force Spanish at me. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not very fun because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like,
Okay.
what? All right.
Does that ever happen when I talk about Pokemon?
I feel like I know enough about Pokemon.
You do.
I just don't care. And that's the big difference.
Wow.
Is that when you start getting real specific about like the natures or the IVs and the EVs.
Well, I don't care that much about that part of it.
Like that's a bit where I'm like, I don't know what's a good one or it's a bad one.
Some moves have physical attack and some moves use a special attack stat, and it depends on what the Pokemon's special and physical attack stats are, when you want to teach them which moves.
Part of the Pokemon I like more if you shared more, I like more of the lore behind the Pokemon themselves, like the legendary Pokemon and what they did to whatever.
We could watch the movies if
when
you
we
want.
watched the
Pokemon the movie 2000.
The movie 2000. That was one of the birds, right?
Yes, with Lugia.
With Lugia.
Hi, I'm Lugia. I speak like a man.
I did not realize that the birds were such assholes the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
The legendary birds just suck.
They hate each other and they hate everyone.
And everyone and all their spoilers, all they do is just destroy this island.
Well,
they just fight each other with laser beams and ice shocks and thunder and lightning.
The reason...
And fire. And at no point are they just like doing any good for anyone.
Well, look,
they're just blowing shit up.
In the movie, they all had their own island, so they lived in peace. And then this guy comes and disrupts that, so they're like, he like does something to one of the islands. I forget what he does. He takes like the orb or something, right? And then that bird's like, well, fuck, I don't have a place. I'm going to go steal one of the other islands. And then they all get pissed at each other. But yes.
Right, but they could have been like, hey, this guy stole my orb. Could you help me get it back?
Clearly, for the plot, they couldn't communicate that deep.
And it just why couldn't they? Lugia could talk like a man through his brain.
You'd think Pikachu would be like, Pika-pee, Pika-pee, and then they'd be like, oh, fuck, why don't we attack this guy instead?
Yeah, oh, wait, common enemy.
Yeah, Pika-pee, Pee-pee-pee.
You know what? Maybe it was an allegory for the United States. Who knows?
Well, it wasn't the year 2000.
Well, that was quite the tangent. Not sure exactly where we left off on the solo adventure topic, but if you want to hear what we were just talking about...
30 minutes of talking.
30 minutes of chatting about restaurant stories. Check out the bloopers.
Yes.
Because those will be in there somewhere.
They'll be in there.
Meanwhile, we're going to wrap up this episode.
Yes.
So, final takeaways. You had fun?
I had a great time. I would probably do it again. I think you should go, at least. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe I'll sit the next one out because, like, I did kind of feel a little odd, I don't know.
As the only guy?
As the only guy. I mean, I don't think it made them feel uncomfortable in any way, and I didn't feel that uncomfortable, but, like, it maybe would make everyone else feel even more comfortable if it was just women. I don't know. But no, I think it was a great time, and I think it was well organized, well executed. She never gave up. It was very good. And I thank you for sending that. I can't wait to pick your time because it will be the last episode of season 1.
And then we're building a new set.
It's going to go upstairs next to Monica's office.
She
better not interrupt us.
I know, with her heels. Well, thank you so very much for joining us. This was another fantastic episode of Solo Adventures Together. Be sure to check out our live stream if you haven't already at Nurse Huckleberry on twitch.com. Mm-hmm. Or twitch.tv. Yeah,
people will find it. Just look up Nurse Huckleberry.
Nurse Huckleberry.
There's all kinds of stuff. Google or any search. Don't use Google. Mm-hmm. Fuck Google.
And if you're like, hey, you mentioned bloopers, where can I find those? Those are for our Fourth Wall members.
That's a great question. Yeah, Fourth Wall.
Check out
Ortco.co.
Merch.ortco.co.
Does it need the merch part?
Yes.
Merch.ortco.co,
and that will take you to...
You could become a Fourth Wall member. There's a free tier where there's some stuff you get sometimes. There's
behind the scenes.
There's behind the scenes. So and then there's a $5 tier. You get the bloopers there. You get the behind the scenes of YouTube videos. You get episodes of Otto and Rudy. You get old archived YouTube videos, and then if you go up even one more level, You
really
get
watch
this
the
whole video. You could see me touching Nurse Huckleberry's leg.
Oh my God.
I did earlier too, remember?
Oh yeah, I do.
You touched
remember.
my leg.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, and you're probably want to see the new set because there's going to be more decorations. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Just like we scripted.
Should probably work on that.
Shut up. And then
Anyways.
there's a higher tier.
Yeah.
That one's just if you really want to
That's
support
just
us.
if you're like, wow, look at them.
Yeah.
What? Go do things.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing.
I want to support what you're doing.
I want to support what you're doing.
And I appreciate you. Here's money.
Here's money, because there's only one way to fund the arts anymore, and it's privately.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, public arts funding. Yikes. Anyways, thank you all. Have a wonderful time, whatever time you're listening to
You're
this.
making it awkward now.
We'll see you next one. Bye-bye.
Now we can pretend to talk.